Hello everybody, here's what's coming up tonight on Now. Leaked Central Maine Power documents detailing some trouble inside the electric company.
You know, we want to gain their trust back.
For the first time, customers are learning about at least 30 glitches in the billing system, but CMP says none of its problems caused unfair prices.
Doing 60 miles, 70 miles an hour down Summer Street, running like a little girl.
This video has a Central Maine community fired up, but local police want to put an end to this Facebook fight.
And a World War II veteran's final mission to visit all 50 states.
This is News Center Now.
Documents show that CMP has been dealing with glitches in its billing system since it launched way back in October. Hello everybody, I'm Lee Goldberg.
And I'm Lindsay Mills. Emails obtained by the Portland Press Herald show CMP employees struggling to keep up with a growing number of customer complaints and billing problems.
Now, since the October windstorm, we've received messages from thousands of viewers about skyrocketing electric bills with no obvious explanation. CMP says the pricey bills are the result of an unusual cold snap. Customers say no way.
Christina Rex confronted the power giant today to find out if it's been covering up known problems.
We have been transparent. We're a monopoly, but we're a regulated monopoly, and because of that, we need to be very transparent and very open with the commission, and we have been.
Spokesperson Gail Rice says CMP has reported around 30 glitches in its new billing system to its regulator, the Maine Public Utilities Commission. These glitches include delayed bills, customers getting accidentally de-enrolled for autopay programs, and inaccurate bar graphs depicting usage. However, she claims that none of these glitches made your power bill more expensive.
To date, we had found no problems on our end that would affect the accuracy of metering and billing.
Customers, overwhelmed by soaring bills, are searching for an explanation. But CMP says that other than small software problems, there is no smoking gun.
We want answers too. We really do. We want answers too.
Emails leaked to the Portland Press Herald show CMP employees struggling to keep up with growing customer complaints. One reads, "The company needs to get a handle on these and other issues, or soon we will find ourselves in the middle of a commission investigation."
I think that's a good thing, that people are seeing things brought to their attention, they're seeing a problem, and they're asking that we get right on it and fix it.
Rice is unwaved by the release of emails. Because CMP is a state-regulated company, she says internal communications are public record.
Customer-specific information is the only confidential thing in this investigation.
So those emails aren't actually confidential?
No, they're not.
While thousands of customers struggle to pay unusually high bills, the answers they search for lie in the hands of PUC investigators. In the meantime, trust in CMP is waning.
We want to gain their trust back. And that's why we continue to look at our systems. We're going to cooperate fully with the commission and its auditor.
So the Public Utilities Commission says it's hoping to pick a company to perform that audit on CMP sometime this week. Still, the investigation will take months. In the meantime, if you think there's a problem with your CMP bill, the electric company is trying to make it easier for you to file a complaint. They've launched an entirely new web page to try to keep up with the influx of questions. We have a link to this page on the News Center Now section of our website. If you want to go right now, it is cmpanswers.com. Now, CMP says they're still looking for answers on behalf of the customer, and now so is the state government. Joining us now is Barry Hobbins. Barry, your Maine's public advocate.
Yes,
Thanks for being here.
Well, it's turned out to be a tougher job than I thought, I can tell you, with all the different complaints. This is really an unfortunate situation where I think there's a lack of public trust now in the billing process and procedures of one of Maine's fine companies, but unfortunately misdirected with their new billing system, and things have not worked out too well. And it's too bad that they didn't come up front and bring all this information forward, and sometimes that really hurts you when all these other issues have come up.
So kind of a bad PR strategy? Is that
I
what you
think
would say?
I think you get in front of an issue, playing detective and trying to solve the mystery shouldn't be the way we do government. It should be more transparent. The PUC, the Public Advocate's Office, and the utility should work together and not have a cat and mouse game.
Okay. So tell me, you actually looked through some of
Yes,
these
I
emails
did.
and whatnot
I
today.
did.
What did you learn?
Well, first of all, I looked at some screenshots that were sent to me, and obviously they were damaging. I think what the disappointment is that the legislature and I think the media were given a different story, that there wasn't a problem. It appears to be one that has been there for a long time, and that is a software problem. There's a problem, and it really needs to be looked at both in the metering, the billing, and the customer service, individuals who are ratepayers, and what happened with their experience with the utility. And I think that's a real problem.
So when we talk to them, they say, you know, we looked into this ourselves, and while the investigation's ongoing, so far, while we have discovered problems, none of those problems have caused higher bills, so instead they just report them to the PUC, not necessarily make announcements to people. Is that not the right strategy?
No, I don't think that's the right strategy. First of all, they're in a denial phase, and I think that what they have to do is own up to it. I think Maine people are very forgiving. What Maine people don't want to have is a significant surprise when they open up their bill and they don't understand the process of the bill. So I think that both the Public Utilities Commission, the Office of Public Advocate, stakeholder groups, environmental groups, everyone needs to educate Maine citizens about the whole issue of energy. Because it's much more complicated, and I've found out in this job it's a very complicated situation, and the billing has been a real problem.
So in the meantime, you know, this investigation could go on through, they say, the end of the year, maybe even longer. How do we bring comfort to those Maine citizens who are paying these high bills?
Well, what I would hope will happen, and what I'm going to do, is call upon the Public Utilities Commission to raise the level of the investigation from being an inquiry to an investigation. Okay. And that way we'll have more public input, individuals will be able to intervene, and it will become a judicial matter, a quasi-judicial matter where evidence will be taken, and we'll get right down to what really happened.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
We're going to continue our conversation with Barry on our Facebook Live in the first commercial break, so definitely check in on Facebook, send us any questions you may have. Guys?
All right, guys, yeah, a lot of people are already talking about that, so there'll be lots of questions for Barry. I have a question for you. Have you committed to spring? Have you put away the jacket? Like, are you all in on this yet?
Not all in just yet. I know how these these springs go, right, Keith?
Dude, you can't put your jacket away at any time of the year here. What are you talking about? I mean, you can if you want, but spring is definitely here, but we've got a couple of showers on the way right now. And you know, actually, Jess and I were just talking about most of the state was dry through the day today, so not too bad. A couple of showers popping up now. The heavy activity is to our west. Now, this shaded red box you don't see too often in New England, and particularly this time of the year. That's actually a tornado watch for parts of Vermont and through upstate New York. And the only reason this is interesting is there's enough spin in the atmosphere to give us the chance of a tornado in through Vermont, in through New Hampshire, and maybe in through western Maine later tonight. My feeling is that most of the activity will die down before it gets here. There isn't much clearing, much convection there. But let's watch it because the air mass is still juicy here over western and southwestern Maine into New Hampshire. As these thunderstorms roll in there later tonight, they could be on the stronger side. So guys, we'll keep an eye out for some gusty winds later tonight and the possibility of an isolated spin-up tornado over parts of New Hampshire. So we'll keep an eye on that. After that, we'll talk about the weekend in just a few minutes.
Keith, and also in just a moment, we are going to continue our conversation on Facebook Live about CMP. So please grab your phone, grab your iPad, your tablet, and join us in that conversation. A long and happy marriage we wish you. How hardcore comic book fans in Maine celebrated May the 4th later on now. But first,
let's go, tough guy! I'll beat your skull in!
A neighborhood Facebook page is fighting about this video. Why the man behind the wheel says he was just defending his community.
Running like a little girl still.
This video blowing up on social media. It's a recording taken by a Waterville resident as he tries to chase down a man on a motorcycle over some Facebook drama.
Now the man who took the video is facing criminal charges. Chris Costa shows us there's a much bigger story behind this shocking video.
Let's go, tough guy! I'll beat your skull in!
An expletive-laden tirade.
Running like a
A Waterville man recording as he chases a motorcyclist through residential streets at more than twice the speed limit.
Doing 60 miles to 70 miles an hour down Summer Street.
Peter Spiropoulos says the man he was chasing is dangerous and a menace to the community.
He needs to be put away for these things.
Stop somewhere, you.
These grievances stem in part from social media. Posts on Facebook from this man about Spiropoulos and his family, as well as claims from others about this man's alleged behavior.
I went into dad mode.
But you threatened him.
Yes, I did threaten him, just like he had threatened me.
Let's go, buddy! Let's go, buddy! Let's go! Get the off the bike!
Now, Spiropoulos is charged with criminal speeding and driving to endanger.
Driving recklessly throughout the city of Waterville at speeds exceeding 40 miles an hour over the speed limit is irresponsible and not the correct way to handle issues.
Waterville police say social media plays a major role and that no matter what threats a person might receive, the best course of action is to call police.
Unfortunately, I think that social media fuels the fire. People often say things on social media that they wouldn't say in a face-to-face interaction. And, you know, there's really no vetting process for what's said on social media.
Many people keep asking a similar question. Why wasn't the motorcycle driver charged also?
No, his actions were not ideal, but he was being chased with a guy that was threatening him harm. And so we have to take that into account. And, you know, we have to be fair when we're enforcing the law.
Chris Costa, News Center, Maine.
Come on, buddy!
We reached out to the man identified in the video, but we have not heard back. We are not releasing the name because he hasn't been charged with a crime.
Now, the Waterville Police Department says it is aware of some of the allegations against this man, and it has forwarded those concerns onto another agency responsible for investigating those charges.
We want to take a moment to thank you for your amazing generosity. When the Feed Maine Telethon finished yesterday, we had raised just short of $160,000 for the Good Shepherd Food Bank. That money will go right back into our communities to help feed the children, veterans, elderly, and families struggling to put food on the table.
And it is not over. Not too late to donate. Go to our website anytime. Right now is good. And send a donation to the Good Shepherd Food Bank. No amount is too small. In fact, as we told you all day yesterday, $1 will deliver 4 meals to someone in need. Still to come, a World War II veteran on a mission.
How are you, sir? How do you do, sir? Pleasure to meet you.
Governor LePage gets a very special visitor. We'll have the amazing story of 99-year-old Sydney Walton later on Now.
And Weekend Warriors have something to look forward to. Me, not so much, because I guess we're going to do math and brain drops. Stay with us. More Now when we come back.
Come on, man.
Walton was born in New York, but he later married a woman who he met from Dover Foxcroft.
Yeah, the two lived on Falvey Street in Bangor. That's where their 2 daughters were born, and he worked at the old Dow Air Force Base that is no longer currently there. So 99-year-old Sydney back in Maine today to cross off a very specific item from his bucket list. Check it out.
Awesome. Go, Sydney, go.
Sydney Walton clearly remembers why he joined the Army.
Or to kill Hitler.
Now, Sydney and his son Paul are on a countrywide crusade to make sure people never forget World War II veterans. The plan is for Sydney to go to all 50 states and meet with anyone who wants to, as well as with each state's governor. The third stop of the tour was Maine and Governor LePage.
Hello.
The reason behind the Go Sydney Go tour is because when he was a kid in New York, Sydney had a chance to visit with some Civil War veterans, but was never able to make it happen.
I regret it ever since, because I was always interested in Civil War.
Sydney has turned that regret into a purpose, and he is determined to complete the 50-state visit and spend his 100th birthday on February 11th at the White House.
You're doing it. You're making the effort to go out and make sure that everybody has an opportunity to meet a veteran. Good for you.
Sydney's children could not be happier to be a part of their dad's final mission.
And then there are the kids that he meets, including in state capitals, that have never met a World War II veteran. They come up to shake his hand. It's just a really touching moment.
He basically represents all World War II veterans, and to see people receiving him the way they are, it's my father, so it's very emotional. But number two, to see the respect that not only my father is getting, but that a World War II veteran is getting. It's just so heartwarming.
Sydney plans to spend the rest of the weekend in Maine, then it's off to state number 4, which is New Hampshire. If you want to follow along on Sydney's journey, he has his own website, obviously, GoSydneyGo.com. We've posted the link in the Now section of our website.
Oh, well, we love that story. And we also love it when you guys send in your photos and videos of Maine. And this morning, you guys captured some amazing shots of a gorgeous sunrise. Some of you were in the greater Bangor area, some in the mid-coast, others in southern Maine's beach towns. Whenever you get a picture like this, please send it to us. How gorgeous is that?
Is this going to be a photo op kind of weekend? Like, should we be ready for this?
Overall, good. You know what's amazing is even with the baby, I'm still not catching the sunrise. I'm not at that point. Not this time of the year. You know, when it's like 7, I'm on that.
Wait till you get to be my age, then you'll be awake for all the sunrises just because.
Plus all the kids.
That's kind of fun.
All the kids too. Yeah, there's actually data that you need less sleep as you get older. So,
well,
sounds like a brain drop. Sounds like a brain drops, but you need less, so that's good. It's not just that you're getting less. All right, we had some showers out there, but a lot of the state was dry through much of the day today, and that's kind of how we're. I'm skipping a few things here. Hold on, let's back up. All right. There you go. Most of the state is dry. I wanted to show you this tornado watch, though, to the west. You don't see those a ton in New England. That's what the shaded red box is. And all the yellows here are either severe thunderstorm warnings or watches. And so we've got some nasty storms out here, and we're going to have to watch them as they move in. My gut is, because of the timing of this and some marine air, we won't have too many problems here in Maine. But there is some instability and some wind shear, and these cells are turning into supercells, so we'll watch those through the evening as they head into New Hampshire. Best chance of any severe weather would be New Hampshire and western Maine. An isolated spin-up tornado in those areas is not out of the question later tonight. It's humid there too, so you've got that instability. Rest of us are down quite a bit in humidity compared to yesterday, which of course was really, really sticky. So here are your showers and thunderstorms coming through later tonight. Again, we'll watch this line around 9 or 10 o'clock driving into western Maine and see if it can hold together in any kind of severe weather situation. After that, the showers and storms are done by early tomorrow morning, and tomorrow is a beautiful day. A lot of sunshine, temperatures right around 70 degrees for most of us during the afternoon, and then it's clear overnight on Saturday, and then Sunday I don't like as much. It clouds up pretty quickly, and there's an isolated chance of a sprinkle on Sunday afternoon. I think most of us stay dry through the day on Sunday. So after that, all we have to worry about is a sea breeze, because Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday all look pretty good, but there will be a big change. Look at the coast versus inland here on Wednesday and into Thursday. We've got a pretty big gradient of over 10 degrees. So it will be significantly cooler along the coastline, but we trade all that for the fact that it will be sunny basically from Monday afternoon through Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So not bad overall.
Yeah,
take that.
Smooth sailing, right?
Yeah.
Can't complain.
We're going to do some
Nothing
raindrops.
from the peanut gallery
Save time
over
for the
here.
math. Let's go.
Complain about that.
Let's go.
I can't wait to get to math. Let's go.
All right. Well, today, national holiday for comic book fans and Star Wars fans in particular. May the 4th, a play on May the Force Be With You. Well, one couple in Maine decided to have a comic book themed wedding. Michael and Amanda Conkright tied the knot surrounded by friends who helped take the ceremony to a galaxy far, far away. Congrats to the newlyweds. The Force will be with you always.
And the Maine Department of Transportation celebrated Star Wars as well. Its roadside sign said texting and driving leads to the dark side. And don't turn your vehicle into a Death Star.
And we got 2 great posts for Wake Me Up this morning. One from Stormtrooper Jim and another from Penny Heffernan, who says she enjoyed her coffee with Yoda.
London's Heathrow Airport had a few flight delays today. Flight BB-8 to Jakku was delayed for sandstorms, while Flight C-3PO to Hoth is held up for snow. Yeah, only in Maine could you have a 90-degree day and snow. Come on, even the dog that you're about to see looks a little confused by the situation. Pam sent us this That's So Maine moment a couple of days ago when it was absolutely sweltering outside, and hopefully that snow is gone at this point.
And from the St. John Valley, Steve says a couple of friends wished him safe travels, and this is a good reminder to always be on the lookout for moose on the loose in Maine. Remember to send us your That's So Maine photos using the hashtag or posting to our Facebook page.
All right, Cindy Williams up next with News of the Maine at 5:30. She has a preview of what we're about to see. Hey, Cindy.
Hi, guys. If you thought a ruling by the Maine Supreme Court would end the debate about ranked choice voting, you'd be wrong. The Republicans have now filed suit. They're taking the issue to court again, this time filing a federal lawsuit. Don Kerrigan reports from the GOP convention. And a mid-coast town is in desperate need of firefighters. How they're trying to attract new recruits. That and more coming up at 5:30. Back to you.
All right, Cindy, thanks so much. Brain drops that we are very not looking forward to when we come back.
Very afraid.
Lindsay's looking forward to this brain drop. So this tweet went nerd viral here, and the question was, what ratio of this square is shaded? And so when you look at this, you think there's not really that much information here, right, to figure out the ratio. You could guesstimate it, but how do you actually solve it? Well, I'm glad you asked.
Oh, my goodness.
Glad you asked. So there's a couple ways to do this. Jess and I were working on this earlier. The best way to do it is to recognize that this triangle and that triangle are similar triangles. Remember that from geometry?
Geometry, yeah.
So they have the same angle here. They have to because they're intersecting with the same lines. So from there you can figure out the base of this is 1. It goes all the way across. As a ratio, it's 1. And this is a half. See these little hash marks they put up for you there? It's a half there. Okay, so now what you have to do is figure out the height. But since they're similar triangles, if the base is twice as big here, the height is also has to be twice as big because it's a similar triangle, so the ratio is the same. Okay, so you take that and you say it doesn't matter what the numbers are. You can make this 5 and you can make this 10. The ratio is still going to be 2/3, 1/3. Are we following this?
I got you so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no, good. If you get that, this is the weirdest part of the whole thing.
Okay.
Okay, so now knowing that this is 2/3, this is 1 as a ratio, all you need to know is the formula for area of a triangle, and that is 1/2 base times height. So you take the half, you take the 1, which is your base here. The height, which we established, has to be, as a ratio, 2/3. Do the math out. You diminish it down to 1/3, and it's 33%.
Where were you when I was growing up and taking high school geometry and
yeah.
needed all that help?
I mean, this was interesting because there's different ways to do it.
Right.
Another way you could do it, if you wanted to not be as cute about it, you could literally measure it. You could say, all right, here's a square, so you just take the sides, and then you take this and do it as a ratio. But this is kind of the way I think they wanted you to do it.
Let's get to the question everybody wants to know.
Right.
Why did anybody care about this?
Why
did
this go nerd
Yeah.
viral? I think because it seems like a trick question, but it can be solved. So plus, you can't account for the things that people like me like. It's
that
just,
is a great point.
It's
and
just
a great
weird.
way to end our Friday. News Center at 5:30 starts right now.